Most F-150 owners who blow a turbo think it was bad luck. It wasn't. It was something they did every day. I'm RJ, 20 years on Fords, and I'm going to show you the 7 bad habits that are destroying your EcoBoost turbo right now, while the truck still drives fine and you have no idea. Habit number 7, shutting the engine off immediately after towing or driving hard. You tow a trailer all day, park the truck, shut it off, walk away. Sounds fine, feels fine. Here's what's happening inside. When you run the EcoBoost hard, the turbo spins up to over 100,000 RPM. The bearing that keeps that shaft alive is fed by oil pressure from the engine. The second you shut off, oil pressure drops to 0, but the turbo doesn't stop. It keeps spinning on momentum for several seconds with no oil protecting the bearing. The heat from the exhaust housing bakes whatever oil is left in there into hard carbon deposits. We call it coking. Over time, those deposits restrict the oil passages and the bearing starts running starved. It's not a loud failure, it's a slow one. The turbo keeps working, keeps sounding normal, until one day it doesn't. I've pulled turbos that looked like the inside had been painted black. Hard carbon built up in the oil passages until there was barely any flow left. Owner had no idea the damage was happening. Said the truck ran fine up until the morning it didn't start normally. By that point, the bearing had been running without proper lubrication for months. A new turbo later, and a lesson he won't forget, the fix. After any hard run, any tow, any long grade, let it idle for 2 to 3 minutes before you shut off. That's all. 2 minutes keeps oil moving through the bearing while it cools down. Costs nothing. A turbo replacement on a 3.5 EcoBoost F-150 runs $1,500 to $4,000, depending on whether anything downstream got contaminated when it failed. 2 minutes of idling after every hard run. That's the habit. Habit number 6, getting on it right after a cold start. You start the truck, it fires right up, sounds healthy, and you pull out and hammer it because you're late. What's the problem? The engine is running, you can hear it. When the engine sits overnight, oil drains down into the pan. The turbo bearing sits up on the engine with almost nothing in the passages. When you start cold, it takes a few seconds for oil to reach the bearing. Those seconds, the bearing runs dry. In normal cold start driving, that's not a problem. The turbo isn't working hard enough to matter. But if you immediately get on it, the turbo spins hard while the bearing is still oil starved. And cold EcoBoost exhaust temperatures ramp up fast under load. I see this damage all the time on trucks belonging to guys who remote start in the winter. They think the warm-up period is covered. Engine temperature comes up, they get in and go hard immediately. The temperature gauge moved, but the oil hasn't fully stabilized at the bearing. Not the same thing. 30 to 60 seconds of gentle driving after every cold start. That's it. Not 5 minutes idling, just drive easy for the first minute and let oil reach the turbo before you ask it to work. Below freezing, make it 90 seconds. Gentle first minute, every cold start. Free habit. Habit number 5, trusting the oil life monitor when you tow. The oil life monitor in your F-150 was calibrated for average driving. If you tow, work the truck hard, idle a lot, or drive in heat, you are not average, and the monitor has no way to know the difference. The turbo bearing runs an exhaust heat that can top 1,000 degrees on the hot side. Oil cycling through there degrades faster than oil anywhere else in the engine. By the time the monitor is counting down from 20%, the oil that's been through your turbo has already taken more heat than the algorithm assumed. I've opened EcoBoost engines where the owner followed the monitor exactly, 8, 9, 10,000 mile intervals, and found carbon buildup in the turbo passages that belonged on a much higher mileage engine. The monitor wasn't wrong, it just didn't know what this particular truck's life looked like. 5,000 miles on any EcoBoost you work hard. Full synthetic, Ford specified 5W30. Motorcraft filter. Check the dipstick before any long tow. Dark, thin, or low oil going into a towing session is a bearing failure waiting for the right moment. An extra oil change costs $60. A turbo costs $1,500 to $4,000. 5,000 miles, Motorcraft filter, check before you tow. Habit number 4, ignoring the air filter and running a dirty MAF. F-150 owners drive in conditions that kill air filters fast. Job sites, dirt roads, dusty lots, hauling loads. Most guys change the filter when it looks dirty. By then it's been doing damage for months, and it's been letting contaminated air reach the turbo compressor wheel, which is machined to extremely tight tolerances. Small particles hit those blades at turbo speeds and act like sandpaper. I've seen compressor wheels on high-mileage EcoBoost trucks that looked like someone had taken a grinder to the blade tips. The owner had changed the filter by feel rather than schedule. By feel was too late. When the filter is clogged, the turbo has to work harder to pull air through. That extra strain causes the compressor wheel to run off-center inside the housing. Over time, you get metal-on-metal contact. I've seen housing walls with grooves worn in them and compressor blades with tips ground down. Efficiency drops, the turbo runs hotter trying to compensate, and eventually it fails. The MAF sensor is the next piece. When it's coated in oil mist and dust from a dirty intake, it lies to the ECU about how much air is coming in. The ECU commands boost targets based on bad data. The turbo spins faster trying to hit a target it can't accurately measure. Extra heat every single drive. Hold the filter up to light. If you can't see through it, it's done. Every 15 to 20,000 miles, sooner if you're in dirt. Clean the MAF with MAF cleaner every filter change. $10, 10 minutes. Air filter is $40. A turbo is $1,500 to $4,000. Change the filter. Clean the MAF. Cheap insurance. Habit number 3, never checking the intercooler hoses. I've seen EcoBoost F-150 turbos spinning themselves to death trying to make up for a $15 cracked intercooler hose. That's not a hypothetical. I had a 2016 F-150 3.5 come in with the owner complaining about power loss under load. Found a small crack in the lower intercooler outlet hose, barely visible, maybe an inch long. The engine management was commanding full boost. The turbo was trying to deliver it, but the pressure was bleeding out before it reached the engine. The turbo was overworking on every hard acceleration. The bearing showed early wear. Caught it before it failed completely. New hose, $30, done. 2 more months of driving on that cracked hose, and we'd have been talking about a turbo replacement. When a hose leaks, boost pressure escapes before it reaches the engine. The ECU sees the engine isn't making enough boost and tells the turbo to spin harder. If the leak is bad enough, the turbo keeps pushing past its design range, trying to hit a target it can never reach. That kills bearings. It also causes the engine to run lean under load. Not enough fuel for the air coming in, which creates extreme combustion heat that stresses the hot side of the turbo. On the 3.5 EcoBoost F-150, the lower intercooler hose is notorious for cracking. The inlet and outlet couplers are held by simple clamps that loosen with heat cycling over time. Listen for a whooshing or fluttering sound under hard acceleration. That's pressurized air escaping. If you hear it, find it before you drive hard again. Get under there and check those hoses and clamps twice a year. Look for cracking, softness, loose clamps. A cracked hose costs $15 to $30. Turbo that killed itself because of that hose costs thousands, plus whatever got contaminated downstream. Check the hoses twice a year. Listen for the whoosh. I put together a maintenance guide specifically for F-150 owners. Oil specs, filter intervals, what to check before every tow. Everything that keeps an EcoBoost alive long term. Links in the description. Habit number 2, towing like the truck is bulletproof. The 3.5 EcoBoost F-150 can tow over 13,000 pounds. That capability is real. But most owners treat the tow rating like it's a guarantee and drive without watching what's happening under the hood. Under a heavy tow, especially uphill, in summer heat, exhaust temperatures climb to levels that push the turbo to its limits. The turbine wheel on the hot side is spinning in gases that can exceed 1,700 degrees during a sustained pull. If the oil passing through the turbo bearing has any restriction from previous coking, the oil can turn to vapor instead of lubricating. The result is a spun bearing or cracked housing. I had a 2019 F-150 3.5 come in last summer. Owner was towing a fifth wheel from Arizona to Colorado. July, full load, mountain grades. He watched the coolant temp climb past normal on the last big grade. Told himself he was almost at the top. He made it to the summit. The turbo didn't. Seized bearing. Cracked hot side housing, oil blown through the intercooler. 47,000 miles on the truck. Repair was just under $4,000. He said the temp gauge had been creeping for about an hour before the top of the grade. 3 habits that cost nothing. Check the coolant level before every tow. Low coolant under towing load causes temperature spikes the turbo cannot handle. Watch the temperature gauge while you tow. If it climbs past normal, pull over and idle for 5 minutes before shutting off. And when you arrive, idle 3 minutes before shutting down every single time. The coking from habit 7 is worst after a heavy tow. That cool down matters most exactly when you feel like you don't need it. Tow haul mode handles shift points. It does not handle heat. That's your job. Check coolant before you tow. Watch the temp gauge. Always cool down after. Habit number 1, ignoring the warning signs until the turbo fails completely. This is the most expensive habit on this list. Not because the failure is worse, but because it turns a $300 repair into a $3,000 catastrophe. EcoBoost turbos warn you before they fail. Most owners drive through the warnings for weeks or months, telling themselves it's probably nothing. Blue or gray smoke at startup that clears after a minute? That's oil seeping past worn turbo seals. At this stage, the repair might be as simple as a clogged oil return line, a few $100s. Ignored for another 10,000 miles? Those seals fail completely, the turbo starts ingesting large amounts of oil, and now you're looking at a full replacement plus an engine inspection. A high-pitched whine or chirp that changes with RPM. That's bearing noise. The shaft is developing play. Caught early, a rebuild kit might save it. Ignored until it becomes a grinding sound, the housing is already damaged and a rebuild won't help. Consistent power loss under hard acceleration. Every time you ask for boost, not just occasionally. Variable geometry vanes sticking or a failing wastegate. Either one forces the turbo to work beyond where it should. Actuator replacement costs a few hundred. A turbo that destroyed itself compensating runs several thousand. Intercooler piping that's wet or oily on the inside. A whooshing sound under hard acceleration that wasn't there 6 months ago. Oil use that's crept up without explanation. I had a customer bring a 2017 F-150 2.7 in last year. He'd been hearing a faint whine for about 2 months. Figured it was just the truck making noise. By the time he came in, the compressor wheel had been grinding against the housing long enough to leave metal debris in the intercooler and the intake tract. Full turbo replacement, intercooler replacement, intake cleaning, just over $3,200. If he'd come in when the whine started, rebuild kit, labor, probably $350. 2 months, $2,850, because it sounded like probably nothing. When your truck talks to you, listen. If you want a full EcoBoost turbo maintenance checklist, oil specs, filter intervals, what to inspect before every tow, link is in the description. If this helped you, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.